islands, and no white person is indigenous here. Not one, not one. So if you're not indigenous, if you're not indigenous to America, then you cannot tell no black man where to lay or stay. You can't accuse him of a crime. You have to call. If you see another black man shooting another black man, you literally can't even go near that. And you have to call us, call the Promised Land. See, that's what I'm saying. We have to have our company to where you can call us. Then we come out and we would have to minister that. That's where Larry Hoover and all of the disciples are coming. You know, that's why we don't need white people. We don't need you. We don't need no police officers. We just need people like Larry Hoover. You know what I'm saying? To run it, because there would be no situation of a yummy. You know what happened to Yummy? It wouldn't be his parents would have been intact. They would have been together. Yummy would have been Yummy. Yummy, you know, still yumming it up with the candy and shit. He would have still been alive. Everything would have been great. But no, you locked up the gods. And now you let everything, and that's how everything fall. That's why there's crime in Chicago and Detroit and everywhere. Because you locked up all the people that would stop it. You see, this is what you need to understand. If you are a black attorney, if you are a Negro attorney, I don't like to say the word black. If you are a Negro, you know, gingerbread colored outlaw, technically is what you are. Well, I am. I'm a gingerbread colored outlaw because I'm outside of the government's bounds. I'm outside of their law. So I'm an outlaw. That's what it is. Meaning that my grandfather was killing Bass Reeves and Andrew Jackson. They were cutting off their heads. We were in the gutter wars. We were in the Pontiac wars. I'm that. So that's why I say to you, you have to speak the way we were always speaking. We were saying, hey, you people are invaders. You people are invaders. We have Da rules. The Da rules is connected to treaties that have been broken. So I have a treaty that's been broken on my great grandparents. Okay, Nisi and VC Allen. Well, though that whole generation right there had broken treaties on them, where they you know they were supposed to stay on their 640 acres, but the invaders came and murdered them, murdered the chiefs and all of that, murdered them outright. Then they put different treaties on top, and they brought the black Moors there. You know what I'm saying? To make it look like Brass Reeves was one of us. No, Brass Reeves is a fucking Moor that you went in on because he's killing us. He got the white police, militia, and he murdering us up out of our homes. And this is what happened. And this is what they know of Larry Hoover. That's why they locked up Larry Hoover and all the people, because they know who we are. That's why we have to tell them like this. No, you know who we are. You know exactly who we are. And when we tell you to hand over this deed, we mean it. Hand over this motherfucking deed. It's not yours. Well, we created this. How? How did you create it? Well, we built this, right? But whose is this? Who's book brick and mortars? Who? This is our resources. The carpet that you standing on, bitch, you got it from us. So this is our shit. The brick and mortar, the walls that you built the prisons on. Where did you get the soil to build it? Where? From here. Okay. You removed us from our home, so that means that the television station network is mine. 13 RV motorhome coaches is mine in each state. I own that, so that I can distribute out the materials and resources that we have. It's ours. Larry Hoover is not in. Listen, they not locked up. They locked up with Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover ain't locked up with them. They locked up with him. They have to just hand him over the deed. And you might say, Kathy, that's crazy. Excuse me? Nothing is crazy when it's on national TV. Once everything is on national TV, then everything will start to make sense. Like, oh, and everybody, oh, yeah, because it's really true. Yeah. Because that's how y'all brainwash thinking, well, since it's on national TV, it must be true. Okay, well, then let the real shit be on true. Let it be true. Let it show where we publicly announced that Larry Hoover would have to be set free. But there's conditions to that. The warden have to hand him the land and deed because he discovered that he's indigenous and that all of the black people in the prison is indigenous. and that criminals actually set him up and put him in there. So he has to find the ones that locked him up and put them in there. That means the court judge, the prosecuting attorney have to go to prison. Larry Hoover have to put them in there, and it has to be publicly announced, and we have to publicly see it. We have to literally see him and his disciples knock on their door and says, "Hi, ma'am. Is Mr. So and so here?" And he's like, "Yes." And then the court judge will come to the window and say, "Hi, I have a warrant for your arrest. You have to come with me to go to prison." "For what, sir?" "Well, you imprisoned me under false charges. You accused me of this and that, and so you have to go to prison to where I was locked up at." And he have to actually comply, and he have to go to prison. And no one can say no one white can say anything about it, because we're going after the ones that locked him up. We're not killing and going after anybody that don't deserve it. If you didn't do anything to black people, then why are we are not gonna mess with you? What the fuck we're gonna mess with you for? Evidently you didn't do nothing to us. It was these motherfuckers. So whoever did us wrong have to go to prison. So who's doing us wrong? Well, right now we sent the poster magazines to Universal Studios and to all the television station networks 3 or 4 months ago. So they got that. The fact that they didn't answer, they got to go to prison. Yes, because I'm telling you what you did, and for you not to email me and answer me back with the keys and the deed, then trust me, believe me, when that time comes, which will probably be this year, we're going to have to, because everybody have to get an understanding of who's who. Once everybody wake up, then everybody have to talk like me. If anybody white say something, you crazy or whatever, it's like, excuse me, you're not even from this country, and you were supposed to have been executed on the bloodline, on the regards of Paul Revere. Just say Paul Revere. Just say that. Yeah, because you were the lookout. Yeah, that's right. Your people was the lookout for the British because you were supposed to be executed, remember? See, to gain your independence was to gain freedom from your slavery that you were under. White people were the slaves first. They were the slaves first. They came over here as criminals, indentured slaves, right? So they were all slaves. We weren't. We're the indigenous gods. Okay, they're the ones that have to go to prison. We have to keep an eye out on for them. We have to literally treat them how they treated us. Because they can't escape nowhere. They can't be no cook for nobody. You can't cook in nobody's kitchen. You'll poison them. You can't work in the mail room. You'll poison that. You gotta you gotta go to prison for real. Really, you just gotta go to prison. You can't do nothing. You just gotta go to prison. Now the white people that are out and they're just minding their own business, continue to mind your own business or get your people. If you don't get your people, then you're gonna be locked up, or you have to go back to where you came from in Helsinki, Russia, the Caucasus Mountains of Russia. We're all going to wear our badge. I patent the company, Shia and the Jetsons Community Preservation of the Promised Land, where we're all going to wear the badge. That will show us our identity. We'll have our IDs, and we'll have a debit card that where we go to a store, we'll swipe and we'll go get our groceries for free. Everything is free for the Negro race, everything. Now, when a white person, Mexican, Chinese person get their badge, they can use it too, but it'll cost them. It'll cost them money, because it'll cost them based on their income, But we don't deal with money. We don't deal with money. We only deal with gold, silver, substance, agriculture, natural resources, and buildings and things, and cars and spaceships. We only deal with substance. We live off of tangible, valuable things. We don't live off of paper money, and we don't deal with paper money. There will be no money in the promised land. Okay, so if a person was to work, you only work 4 hours a day, anytime you feel like it, you will rotate these hours, and you would work based off of the simple fact that everything you have is free. Everything you ever desired is free, whatever you want. So that's how you're just going to come to work every day, because, well, shit, who's not going to live in the promised land who have rules like that? Damn, all I got to do is just work 4 hours a day, or go to school 4 hours a day, or you don't have to even do that. If enough people is doing what they supposed to do, then okay, you do you. But I'm just saying, it ain't going to be no, what it is here is going to be completely different over there, where black people are in their own important element of what they are, and we're all superheroes in our own unique different way. So You know what I'm saying? So we have our own special powers that we do, and we have to express that by us being in our own community, our own promised land, and we design it the way that we want, the way what we are. So you can see like, oh, this must be Louisiana Tay's neighborhood. Like, damn, that shit off the chain. Or Yashua Pandera's neighborhood. You know, you would see wonderful things in their neighborhood, or Larry Hoover's neighborhood. You know, you would go to his neighborhood, or Don Dirk's neighborhood. Like, wow, and everything is wonderful because we're all different tribes, right? And we all for one thing. We're all for our families taken care of, and we're all about making sure this never happens to us again. We will never be taken over by anybody like this again. Nobody, because we know who we are, and that's the promised land. You are at your promised land, right where you at. You just have to say it. No, I'm in my promised land. And in soon time, I'm gonna own everything. I'm gonna own everything right here. And then I'm gonna make it the way that I wanted to make it. So wherever you're at the promised land. Now, I patent the company to where we'll have our free Jetsons, and we will be able to travel in the most beautiful national state park areas in your area. So my area would be Malibu. So Malibu, I would have 640 acres Malibu. It would be connected to the Shia facility. Okay, so we would, and now in the Shia facility around, it's a theme park, but around it there's many different energy of sufficient homes that we would be building, shaped like triangles, always. 'Cause you don't never want to have a building that's a square building. It cuts off. You just want things to go up. You want your building to go up, your home to go up from the ceiling part. I'm just saying, and it has to be glass on the top so the sun can come in and everything like that. Your furniture would be made in pure silver, pure gold, because when you lay on the bed of a gold bed, whatever mattress you put on, that's fine, but at least let that gold bed from the earth resonate through your body, so that way you can heal yourself from the crystals that is in the house, the plants and everything. You just have a healing house. Your house will be your healing house when you walk in there. Okay, so what I'm saying is that we have to live like how we used to be. And the only way to get there is that you have to speak out your mouth the truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God, you the God, right? So you can only speak the truth. So that means when I say, well, it has to be publicly known on national TV, where it has to be where we get a hold of this lawyer, and it got to be about a team of them, and they have to announce this on national TV, to where we discovered some shit and we're angry. We're not humble. We're not coming to you humble. We coming to you angry, mad than a motherfucker. And you're going to take heed to this because we're fucking dying. And that's why you're coming. That's why these lawyers have to come like that. When we got a hold of Stephen, Just Mercy, man, type in Just Mercy and you'll see that lawyer. He turned out to be a bona fide coward, did he not? He was a coward. We can't have cowards. So you have to find this lawyer. Him, send this video to him to just let him know that it's very, very important to stand on your ground, and that we're requesting for you and people like you to announce this. Get a hold of me, email me, you know what I'm saying? Get a hold of me, because I'm the one that's going to put this movie together. Well, the movie's already made, the movie script's already made. I already submitted it to the producers and the film directors that make, movies in another country, because here they're corrupt, they're criminals. And they know that. That's why I sent it to them. And actually, they got at me. So, I mean, they're just going to have to show this movie. Now, when they show this movie, of course, everybody's going to be aware of who's who, what happened to us, and everything, and how we're going to get to the promised land, and what the promised land looks like. This is why I say, because I put it in my book. I put the film treatment in my book. It's on Amazon. That's the first thing you see is the film treatment. Okay, so at the beginning, it's the film treatment, the arrival of the promised land. Okay, so it just tells you, exactly, it has different scenes and acts on it. The names is here, everything, that they're coming, that they're coming. And so this is in my book. And so I have the film treatment, okay, that we were going to be going into a different dimension when this thing come about, because when the promised land comes about, you know what I'm saying, we'll be able to, from fourth, we'll be able to get to fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth dimension from the promised land that we go to, that we're gonna, create, and it'll be created in real time because it's already there. Just go to, I mean, any, and this is the thing here. When we announce this, it has to be rules and regulations. So this is the rules that they have to comply to because we're right. We're not coming on national TV to make a fool of ourselves because we're wrong. No, we're coming as a demand because we're dying and something has happened. We just discovered something. We discovered that we're indigenous and that the criminals that have this world like this have to go to prison. They can't, or we'll continue to die. So that's just basically what all I wanted to yeah, well, okay, I'll leave a link about Don Dirk. Now, when you see it, you'll understand that you know what I'm saying? You'll understand that everything that Don Dirk is saying is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And that a crime has been committed on our people. A crime has been committed on our people. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because when I was little, when I was like 4, I had visions that I felt like I had to help like older black men and women. I don't know why. I just felt like I needed to help older black men. And now that I see this, I see, oh, Don Dirk people. Oh, Larry Hoover. Oh, because see, I'm the creator of the Promised Land, and I knew that when I was, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I was letting them know. I'm like, look, I don't want to be shot, stabbed. I don't want to be hung on a rack. I don't want to be burnt to death, cold to death. I was just going down the line of what I didn't want to happen to me because I am the creator of the Promised Land. I was saying that when I was 6 years old. Since you know I'm the creator of the Promised Land and you know I can do it, I don't want to be, and it just protect me, and you better open my eyes. I want to let my eyes be open. I want to know, eyes be open, meaning like I want to know things that people don't know but should know. Don't have my eyes closed. I don't want to be dumbed down here. That's what I was saying when I was 6. I was dead serious because I don't know. I just felt like it's just what I felt that I was gonna be the creator of the Promised Land because, that's just what I feel like that I am because I know how to create the Promised Land down to the carpet. I know what color of the carpet the office is going to be when we're at our office in the Promised Land. I actually know it. I actually know how it's going to look and everything. And so I put it in my book. In 2014, this is an old book. My other book that I wrote, where's my other books? This book, this is different from this one, of course, but anyway, this was another book that I wrote, and I just put this with this. So anyway, so yeah, and it's just all about the Promised Land. It's all about the Promised Land, and then I have my UFO abduction story where I was abducted by the Phoenix Lights, a mothership the size of, I don't know, 2 large cities, and it just came to my house and picked me up. And then I asked, and then I said, was anybody else abducted? And then he said, it might have been one other person that was abducted besides you. I remember that. And I was like, oh, I wonder who that is. And now I know, I think I know who it is now. I think I know. Anyway, so I don't know. I just kind of got a funny feeling. It has something to do with like Larry Hoover in there. Not that he was abducted, but somebody up in there got abducted by. I don't know. I'm just saying. This is all connecting. This is just connecting. I don't know. I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together. And what I've discovered that each and every, if we get a hold of a black lawyer like that lawyer I was talking about, he got to come up with 30 of his men or any of 12. That's what I wanted to say. Each black person that walks around, you better walk with 12 people, 12 or 13 people. That's right. You better stand on your ground. That's right. We got 12 people. And then when the cops pull you over, it's like, excuse me? No, we indigenous, motherfucker. We indigenous and you're not. You know what I'm saying? You got to say, you're not indigenous. We are. We're indigenous and you're not. Yeah, we come in 12 because we're the 12 tribes of Israel. No, we're the 12 disciples. Because we're not in Israel. Damn it. You better say what. Because and it's funny too, because I was telling you about my brother. We've been raised in Michigan. We wasn't raised in Chicago. We didn't know what was going on in Chicago. And he became the 12. He became the disciples. And I don't like to say in his gang because there's no such thing as gang. There's tribes. In his tribe, his homeboys was all of the disciples. I'm like, wow. Because there was vice lords, there was young bloods, there was the Conions, there was 31 flavors, and there was the 12 disciples. And it was 12 of his homeboys. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. So that y'all just, that's real in the Bible. That's real. They really, it just be so that means there's a whole bunch of 12 disciple people everywhere in all kind of states, and they don't know that, because I didn't know that there was a Don Dirk who was actually King Solomon, because he's mentioned that there was a King David that was like a father to him, and then King David died, and then left him to write the whole, and that's what King Solomon did. He was the architect. He was the writer. So that means all that is true. So that means there is different sets of black people, of Negro people, indigenous Nietzsche people, that subconsciously becomes this Lord God tribe in their own right, because they're gods, and you can't help but to be a god because this is all you know, and everything you do is right because you save the people, you save the babies, you love the babies, you take care of the babies, you take care of your wife. This is just what you do. And this is what we grew up in, when like we grew up in where everybody had a father, because in Michigan, I don't know, just everybody had a father, everybody had mother and father. It was never where you didn't have a father. Everybody, see, now why, when did that separate? Where did the fathers separate? It was when Section 8 came about, because when I remember my father was there, my mother mentioned about housing. Oh, we can get free housing, but the man can't be there. And he was like, what? And I was like, ooh. But she didn't apply for that or anything like that. She was just saying. And then we saw how all of the other mothers went with the Section 8 deal and kicked out the fathers and just snuck them in at night. Like, I'm like, well, how come they went along with that? How come when you can accept the housing, but you got to be like, oh no, you're gonna have to put the man in here, because how did the baby come here? So the baby and me can stay, but the man can't. Well, how? What you mean? Well, he has to pull himself up by his bootstraps. Well, how did you pull your stuff up by your bootstraps? You stole this shit, bitch. So don't worry about the man being in the house. You just, oh man. So anyway, they got to go. They have to die. Now, I had already sent, I've always been sending letters to senators, governors, and letting them know to take heed to the rules and regulations of the promised land, or they were going to die in the way that was predicted, because I predict how they're going to go, because I like to wield things to happen. That's why I'm saying I'm wielding this, where on national TV, really, Larry Hoover would have to be face to face with the warden. And he has to say, sir, you need to hand over the deed and the keys to the prison. And it has to be on national TV. So that you can show an example of all of the wardens in prison. You got to hand over the deed to the leader of the one that have the rightful, like a Larry Hoover. In fact, Larry Hoover got to be the king of all prisons, to pick out which one needs to stay and go and leave up in there. That's what his job is, because he goes out to find the evil people and put them in prison, so that his community and everybody's community can be safe again. Because back in the day, in the 70s, it was beautiful. I had a beautiful, wonderful childhood. It was wonderful. It was like when the Black Panthers and them was there, when we had like programs. We had YMCA, we had Girls and Boys Club, we had all kinds. We had other off-brand shoot of programs that we could just go to. We had girls clubs. We had arts and crafts, where just the girls can do the arts and crafts, and then the boys can do whatever they was doing. That's where skateboarding came about. We created the skateboard. When the skateboard came out, we created the skateboard. We created the go-karts. Now imagine if you had a facility like the Shia facility, where that's all you do is create spaceships, flying shoes. You put the shoes on, you just start flying and shit. Flying suits that you put on the suit, you become visible and you can fly and shit like that. We'll create things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I know how to create. Like, so I put that in patent. I put it in. I I put the Jetsons in the patent where, it turns into, in 2 years it's going to turn into well, it's already a jet and a submarine anyway. So that's just what it is. But it'll be that way in 2 years. Right now, we're just going to get the RV, so we can turn it into that. You got to get the RV first, so we can go ahead and manufacture it that way. And that's how it's going to be distributed to every single Negro person at the age of 16 to get their own Jetsons motor vehicle, because it's a home and it's a transportation where you drive to your other home in the Shia facility where the theme park is at. And that's what we need to have, and that's what we're going to have, because I'm wielding it to be. I'm going to get off in this. I've just been rambling. I want you to get a hold of that lawyer, and we have to talk to him. We have to talk to everybody in the way that it's the truth, and you can only speak the truth. We can't be sugarcoating or exaggerating anything. You have to tell the truth whenever you speak to these white people. Like, no, you're not indigenous, and I am, and you're not, and I am. You got to say it. You're not, and I am, and I approve. Yes. That's why I patent the badge that we would be wearing. You have your credit card, your debit card, where you can, go shopping and do whatever you want to do, and everything is yours. Everything. If you want to buy a car, which you won't, because you will be having your own Jetsons and things like that. You have a car, but everything is free, is what I'm saying. Everything in the promised land and outside, you will be accommodated by your own people. Now, white cops can't look at you. They can't say nothing. They can't even say hi, because you might be offended by that. They can't say nothing. They can't look at you. White cops, Chinese, Mexican, they cannot look at a Negro person. They can only apply their rules and regulations onto their own race. That's what Larry Hoover has to announce. That's what I'm going to, and that's what I'm announcing. That's when we sending it to the